Hello, my name is Tiffany and welcome to my channel where I bake and talk about movies at the same time. Specifically movies that I grew up watching. So yeah, if you like movies and you like baking, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So yeah, let's bake some shit and talk about movies. Ray Liotta, Tina Majorino, Miss EGOT herself, Whoopi Goldberg, Corrina Corrina. I saw Corrina Corrina when I was probably like a child or some type of adolescent, like right up in there. And even then, it was a feel-good movie. And now that I've seen it as an adult, I know why it's a feel-good movie. And I know why I love it so much. So I want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. The movie is set in the 1950s in Los Angeles. Manny Singer has just lost his wife, Annie. I know, tragedy already. They have a daughter, Molly, who's probably around 4 or 5. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I never know kids' ages. She's just lost her mother. She doesn't know how to process her grief, so she just becomes a mute. She don't want nobody talking to her. She don't want to fuck with nobody. And I don't blame her. I just lost my mom. I'm inconsolable. I don't want to talk to you. There's nothing you can say that's gonna make me feel better. So the dad, Manny, doesn't know how to help his daughter and he needs to go back to work. So he obviously needs to hire a nanny. Again, this movie is set in the 1950s. So this is a time where the moms took care of the kids. The moms attended to the kids' feelings and needs, and the dad brought home the bacon. So he needs a nanny, right? He puts out an ad in the paper. Actually, I'm gonna assume that he puts out an ad in the paper, but it's the 1950s. How else are we getting information across, right? And the absolute worst nannies show up. Like, they're terrible. Most of them were just looking for a husband. One middle-aged white man did show up to the interview. Now, I'm not saying men can't be nannies. What I'm saying is, if you were to allow your kid to be watched by that man, I need your name, I need your phone number, and I need your social. Because I'm calling CPS. He did finally settle on one. And this is where my girl Joan Cusack steps on the scene. After she gets hired, you realize that something's off, right? You soon find out that she's low-key an alcoholic and she's just looking for a husband too. And crawls into bed with him one night and is basically like, we bumping uglies or not? She's immediately fired. Immediately. So now he needs another nanny. And this is where Corrina Washington steps on the scene. I love how every time she steps on the scene, jazz music starts playing. And that's because Corrina Washington is that bitch. She is. So Corrina shows up to the interview, dressed to the nines. She hands Mr. Singer her resume, and he notices she doesn't have much childcare experience. She doesn't have much childcare experience because she went to college. She has a degree. But again, this was the 1950s. Black women getting education? Blasphemy. Mr. Singer's low-key not feeling Corrina. She doesn't have much experience with children and he needs a nanny. So he basically like kind of writes her off. Like, you know, one of those you don't call me, I'll call you situations. You know what I mean? So as Corrina is leaving, she sees Molly trying to grab a piece of fruit. Corrina grabs the piece of fruit and tosses it at Molly and walks off super fucking cool, like, right? Mr. Singer is watching this interaction from the kitchen window, and all of a sudden, Molly honks her horn. Did I mention she's on a tricycle? She's on a tricycle, and she honks her horn. Beep, beep. So Mr. Singer's thinking to himself, huh. So he hires her. Almost overnight, things immediately get better in this man's life. How do you ask? Because of black girl magic. That's how. Shit. Corrina allows Molly to grieve the way that she wants to. She doesn't force conversations. She doesn't constantly ask her how she's feeling. She just allows her to be her. Corrina invites this little girl into her world, and not only does Molly start to talk again, she becomes a completely different person. She's singing, she's dancing, she's just overly joyed all the time. Eventually, Molly has to go back to school, and on her first day back, they had an assignment to draw like their family or their mother or something like that. Corrina has been such a huge impact on Molly so far that she draws her instead of her mother. This little boy next to her starts making fun of her, and now Molly doesn't want to go back to school because she's being bullied. She begs and pleads with Corrina not to send her back to school, and Corrina agrees. She doesn't send her back to school. Corrina's sister, Jennifer Lewis, is telling her like, hey, you need to watch it. Like, that's not your little girl. You might want to chill. Molly has been out of school for weeks, and Mr. Singer doesn't know anything about it. Corrina has other housekeeping jobs, so she takes Molly to work with her. And this is how they bond. Mr. Singer starts seeing the change in his daughter, and he notices it's because of Corrina. So because of this, he starts to get a little sweet on her too. But again, this is the 1950s. Interracial love? Nah. So his friends and family try to hook him up with some widower who has 2 sons, and they bad as fuck. Corrina's sister, Javina, tries to hook her up with some neighborhood guy, and Corrina's not having it. He doesn't understand her the way Mr. Singer does. Mr. Singer has a big promotion coming up, and do you know Corrina helped him with that promotion? And he got it. So Mr. Singer and Corrina are low-key digging on each other, right? They've been hanging out. Mr. Singer notices how cool Corrina is. Corrina low-key has fallen in love with Molly. Mr. Singer doesn't care that society doesn't want him to be with her. That's his boo. So some time goes by, right? This little boy that was sweet on Molly sees her playing outside one day. Now remember, Molly hasn't been going to school, and Mr. Singer knows nothing about it. So the little boy goes back to school, and he asks the teacher, hey, when's Molly coming back to school? The teacher's like, what do you mean? Molly's been sick. She can't come back to school. The little boy's like, no, I just saw her outside playing. She's fine. What does the teacher do? She calls Mr. Singer. Boop. The teacher calls up Mr. Singer and lets him know Molly ain't been in school. Mr. Singer's pissed, okay? He left work, so you know he pissed. Finds them at Corrina's sister's house, and he starts going in. He lets Corrina know, you're not her mom. You can't make those decisions. And he fires her ass. It's fucked up. I would be pissed too. If I had kids and I found out that they haven't been at school and the nanny's just been taking them every which way except to get an education, oh, I'm pissed. I'm mad as fuck. I'm livid. I'm outraged. Molly is obviously distraught and she wants Corrina back. Some time goes by and Mr. Singer is miserable, okay? He can't even function. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He's hella sad and he doesn't know what to do. He eventually goes over to Corrina's house and apologizes. You know, maybe I overreacted, you know? You were still dead ass wrong for keeping my daughter out of school, but perhaps I overreacted. Just maybe. Realizes this woman has brought so much joy into my life. She's helped my daughter become herself again. And low-key, I miss her. So, hey, let's get back together. So they eventually get back together. Yeah, they eventually get back together. Yerp. Yes, I decorated this off camera. I'm sorry. No, but seriously, I really love this movie because it highlights how amazing Black women are. True enough, Corrina shouldn't have kept that little girl out of school. However, let's just focus on the awesomeness that is a Black woman, okay? Let me just point out some things. Out of all the people Molly interacted with, Corrina was the only one to get her to start talking again. Mr. Singer, he got that promotion at work because Corrina helped him get that promotion at work. Their lives were exponentially better because of Corrina. Long story short, Black women are amazing, and given the opportunity, we will shine. And we will make everything around us shine just by simply being us. We're awesome. We're cool as fuck, man. So if you want your life to be better, get you a Black woman. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.